Hey, party people! Welcome once again to the Party of One podcast, the actual play RPG podcast where the gaming table is always ever two. I am your host, as always, Jeff Stormer. This week on the show, I'm joined by my good friend Alice Kyra for a GM-less game of Masks. Masks is, of course, the Powered by the Apocalypse game of teenage superhero drama, learning to figure out your place in the world all while battling giant robots, mass supervillains, and all sorts of other comic book wackiness. Which, as someone that loves both teen angst and superheroes, it's extremely up my alley. You can find more information about Masks in the show notes. Now, this is a very special episode because Alice is a cast member of Unlabeled, which is a Masks actual play, which uses the Phoenix Academy playset for sort of superhero school drama. This game is actually set in the world of Phoenix Academy. We are some upperclassmen at Phoenix Academy, and I am very excited. It's a great episode. I really enjoyed playing it. You can learn more about Unlabeled also in the show notes. Real quick before we dive in, a special thank you to Violet Fanning, our newest Patreon backer. Patreon backers help support the show, games that I produce, all that kind of cool stuff. You get early access to podcasts, games, articles, all that good stuff. You can find more information at patreon.com/JeffStormer. And with all that said, let's go ahead and throw it over to me in the past so that he can get started with the show. Take it past me. Thanks, future me. This week, I am so excited to be sitting down with Alice Kyra. Alice, thank you so much for coming on Party of One.
Hey, Jeff. Thank you for having me. I'm really excited.
I am actually really excited to have you on the show. I know that we've been talking about doing it for a very long time, and I'm excited that it's finally come to pass. It's very good. I've been excited about this all day, if I'm being 100% honest.
That's awesome. Yeah, this is something I've wanted to do for years.
Ages and ages.
Yeah.
So, real quick at the top of the show, why don't you take a moment and let the lovely listeners at home know about all the good stuff you've got going on you might want them to know about?
Sure. So, I'm Alice Kyra. I use she, her, and fair pronouns. You can find me at Twitter at magicalgirlkyra. I write some games, which you can find on itch. I forget how that link works, but it's pinned in my tweet on Twitter, so you can look there.
You can also find it in the show notes.
Oh, show notes are very good, and I will learn how those work one day.
All of us will. We will collectively, as podcasters, figure out really how they work eventually.
Yeah. But the big thing I'm here about is I'm on a Masks actual play podcast called Unlabeled AP. We are an all-trans girl Masks podcast using the Phoenix Academy playset by Rob Weiland. So it's a lot of high school drama, teenage drama, trans drama, a lot of drama, really, and it's a lot of fun.
I mean, that's Masks in a nutshell. I feel like is if you're playing Masks and not finding that you're having a lot of drama, like I immediately question like what's happening.
Okay, that makes me
feel all of my Masks games have been very drama.
That makes me feel a lot more secure in some things that have recently happened in the podcast.
Good. I'm glad. I'm very, very glad. Well, yep, we are playing Masks this week. We are doing a GM-less two-player game of Masks, because Masks, even more so than most Powered by the Apocalypse games, I feel like if you're going to play it with two people, like, has to be GM-less to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's so based on interpersonal relationships and, like, how we relate to each other. So I'm very excited to get into it. So we should introduce our characters and then go through our history questions, our relationship questions, and then you have whipped up some special advanced history questions because we're playing characters that are a little older.
Yep, that's right.
Would you like to go first, or should I?
Sure, I can go first.
All right.
So I'm going to be playing Faith Fairweather, aka Princess Phoenix. Her playbook is the Star. She uses fire manipulation, and she also has a little bit of phasing and some martial arts skill back from when she used to be the Beacon, because she has changed playbooks. She's a trans girl because #branding. She has a warm smile and usually wears casual clothing, but has a flashy costume when she's in the middle of action, which we will get into later. Let's see. Do we want to go over the advancements that we took?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it. So we've each taken 7 advancements because we are characters that are well into our college career. We are older. We are more experienced. We have taken a good amount of advancements. Because we figured let's play some characters that let's play some far along the process characters for a change.
Yeah, get a little competency into this.
Yeah.
So the advancements I took were no powers and not nearly enough training from the Beacon playbook, because she's kind of got a scientific mind and she can pick up and adapt to gadgets and equipment she finds. Come on Lucky, she made a camera drone as part of her super science class final a couple years ago, named Corvix, that follows her around and does a lot of camera work for her now that she's a star proper. She had a falling out with her dad, who was kind of against the trans thing and the hero thing, so she took away influence from him forever and boosted her labels. Then she had a bit of an identity crisis, rearranged her labels, increased them. She unlocked her moment of truth and used it. Yeah, the mystical tower on campus was kind of in a stasis explosion. She phased through the explosion and fused with like a sentient fire crystal that was at the heart of it, which is where she got her fire powers from, which led to her playbook change to the star. And now that she's a little more powerful, she took There When It Matters from the Bull playbook, letting her show up when her friends are in need.
I like that. I like that a lot. So I am playing Charlie McCallahan. Charlie is the mentor / like next in line to become the Everyman. The Everyman is the Everyman, the original Everyman, whose name is, we'll go Rick Vanguard. That's a cool name.
That's a really good name.
Rick Vanguard, the original Everyman. The idea was very much like this could be anybody. Like no powers, no super advanced skills beyond things you could pick up in a hardware store, just somebody looking out for other people and doing right by people and not taking that credit. That's why it's just it was an every person, right? It was just somebody. The idea was he would do good and people would just say, "Oh, that was just some random person." And so I am very much sort of the next in line for that. I don't think I've taken the name Everyman. I think I'm just called... Oh, what's a good play on Everyman? I'm the no name at this. I'm the no name. That's a good name. I dig it. I'm gonna write it down. So I'm no name. I am the protege to the Everyman, and I am now that I'm an upperclassman in college, I'm pretty close to transitioning into being the Everyman proper. You know, Rick is getting on in years. He's been doing this for a long time. He has a hell of a setup, like, lined up. He's got, you know, he's putting things in place that he's got surveillance equipment all across campus and the city. He's got, you know, fake badges, IDs. He's got the whole 9 yards that can be anywhere and be anybody when he needs to be. And I'm kind of just waiting for the moment that I get told, this is yours now. Like, this belongs to you. I'm basically waiting for the moment to transition from the protege to the legacy. That's where I'm at this moment. The advancements that I took, I've unlocked but have not used my moment of truth.
Excellent.
I took a +2 to the stat that my mentor embodies, which my mentor embodies savior and denies superior. You do things to help people, and you under no circumstances do you take credit for it. It is the everyman philosophy. So I took a +2 to savior. I also took the moves. The adult move, stand up for something and empathize.
Ooh.
And I took the legacy move, fight the good fight, as well as the protege moves, fireside chat and captain. I'm learning to take. I think I'm maybe breaking from. I've been struggling because I'm breaking from my mentor's view a little bit of like being a face in the crowd, because I think maybe I could be more than that, but I haven't gotten there yet. We'll find out. We'll find out what happens. So do we want to pick one of our relationships to go to the other person? I think that's probably the best way to do it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm going to go with... I think we teamed up a few times before our group came together.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe we even teamed together before you got your fire powers. I think that when we were unpowered vigilantes, I think that we that was when we had kind of teamed up together as a, hey, we got to kind of watch our backs. How does that feel?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Which means that now you have these incredible powers, and I very much still do not.
Yep. Oh, how things change. And I think
growing up is tough.
Yeah. I think I want to say that Charlie might wind up being more of a star than me someday. Because I think we've talked a bit about how you're kind of struggling with the just be the hero and don't be a identity kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
So with that, let's dive into some extended history questions.
Sure. There's where I have them. So cool. So I wrote up 5, and then we'll each ask a 6th question to each other. And
perfect.
So I figure we just need to each pick one. I don't think we have to go through all of them.
Okay.
I just wanted to give some flexibility, which is...
Yeah. I think so what was our team's greatest triumph, and who do you think deserves credit? I was there when the clock tower, this was a group effort when the clock tower exploded, and I have never once, even for a moment in the back of my mind, denied that you deserved all the credit for that.
Oh.
And there was a moment after it happened where we both teamed up. We each handled things. Maybe I shuffled people away before, the explosion happened, and you got your powers. I as No Name moved people out of the way. But when asked about it, I was like, nope, I had nothing to do with that. And there's a piece of me in the back of my mind that that felt really good. And there was definitely a moment of is that what Rick has been talking about? Is that what this is all about?
Yeah.
And I've been kind of grappling with that.
That makes sense. Oh, now I need to think of which one I want to answer. I think I'm going to go with what was the moment you knew you could trust your team when things were at their worst? And I think we were facing some sort of tech villain, maybe from the future, because I had some martial arts training, but most of my other stuff was gadgets. I made a phase belt for myself, and I picked up other little trinkets here and there, and they just shut me down completely. So I was kind of on the edge of just giving up entirely. But you not only talked me back from that, but you're a pretty sharp eye, and you figured out, okay, but if we go in without our technology, this is where we can hit them where it'll hurt, and we can end this ourselves.
Can I make up a villain name? Because that has popped into my... They're Disruptor. They're a supervillain obsessed with disrupting the tech landscape.
I'm going to write that down in this document so I don't lose that.
Just because the phrase disrupt, the word disrupt in a tech landscape makes my skin crawl, so I feel like that makes it a good villain attribute.
Yeah. Cool. And I'm sure my GM will thank you for that against my techno magic and gadgeteer hero later on. In unlabeled proper.
The one style note I have about Disruptor is, do you remember Invader Zim's, the father from Invader Zim, and he had the lab coat that went up over his nose?
Yeah.
It's that, but it's a Steve Jobs-esque turtleneck.
Oh, God!
That just goes up over his nose.
Oh, that is horrible and wonderful.
That's the core of his outfit, is that Steve Jobs turtleneck.
Cool. Excellent.
All right, so now we each ask how our opinion of one another has changed since the first time that we worked together. And are we shifting one of our labels up or one of the other person's?
Yeah, you describe how you feel the other person has changed and do a label shift for them.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, perfect. I have watched you become, like, I've watched you, Phoenix is appropriate, because I've watched you rise, like, to a level that is unheard of, right? Like, I've watched you come into your own in a way that I wasn't even sure was possible when we first, like, met and became friends. So I'm gonna shift up superior and down mundane. Like, you have stepped into the mantle of heroic to a point that is shocking, and like you have ascended to another level of superhuman. I would describe it.
Oh, that's so sweet. Let's see. I think. All right, so this one might be interesting because your abilities are stealth and detective skills.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. It's your mentor who has impossible fighting skills.
Yep.
But I'm going to shift up your danger and down your freak because, like, time and time, like, when we first teamed up, it was kind of just, cool, we both kind of know how to fight and know basically what we're doing. But time and time again, you've shown that your sharpness and you analyze things so quickly that you really have a knack for turning fights around on our opponents in a way that's really, you can go with people way above your weight class just because of how well you can read them and stuff. I
love that.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. And so with that, I think, I believe we're ready to get into our scenario. Is there anything else that we need to go through?
Oh, I need to detail my audience.
Tell me about your audience.
Star has an audience. Okay, cool. So, Faith's audience, she started doing, like, vlogs when she got to Phoenix Academy as, like, a way to stay in touch with her friends back home. Mm-hmm. And over time, that's grown from, like, a daily check-in to a transition journal to just basic makeup advice and stuff and tales of her heroics as her audience has grown and grown over the years. So it's, like, a really organically grown following kind of thing. So I choose why my audience loves me. I think I've really cultivated a relationship where I am just like them. And even though I'm out there doing heroing work and I'm kind of like a noble warrior of justice, they can do that too. And they can be just as, like, strong and empowered in their life as they see in me. I think that's something I really communicate to them. Advantages is I have a wider audience than, like, just in the city. It's kind of pretty much anyone, anywhere can log on to YouTube and see a lot of my videos and catch streams and stuff. So it's a pretty wide range, and I can speak them I can easily speak to them if I have to. Twitter's a thing. It's not always a good thing, but it's a thing.
Sure, unfortunately, yeah, sure.
Yeah. And two demands they make on me is constant stimulation. I always put out at least 2 videos a day. I do a good morning and a good night video.
You gotta keep you gotta feed the algorithm. The thing.
I gotta feed. Otherwise, I'll go down in the rankings and everything. And
yeah, right. Like that's. I mean, you know, that's how that works. You gotta, if you want them to be seeing your posts, you gotta be making a certain amount a day.
You gotta make the posts. And I also said major acts of heroism, because I've shown time and again that I can stand up and do the big thing when the big thing needs to be done. So they don't really feel like I have room to back down when things get tough.
Yeah. Because it's like it's an escalation thing, right? It's once you've shown you can be at this level, they expect you to be at this level all the time.
Right. So even if I'm having a day when I'm not at that level, I gotta push myself. And
sometimes you gotta push yourself.
All right.
Okay. So what does our opening sequence look like? What do our first pages look like?
All right. So I think we'll start off with a framing shot of Phoenix Academy, which is just a sprawling island campus with excuse me, just massive buildings of a range of architectures. There's like the classic Ivy League, and then there's an ancient tower and a futuristic dormitory kind of thing. And there's a editor's note that says finals week. And where do you think we are? It's probably like we had our morning final and now there's a midday break before our afternoon final, I think.
We are around one of the so there's the restaurants that are like slightly off campus that are a bit too far of a walk. Mm-hmm. There's also like the food trucks, but those they get very crowded, and B, they're pricey. I think we're by one of the food carts, either a gyro cart or a hot dog cart.
Okay.
Like we're kind of, crouched, hanging, like sitting around on the curb. I think I have probably 3 hot dogs, like that I'm trying to balance in my hand, a can of Coke, excuse me, a Coke. What am I talking about? That's ridiculous.
Coke?
I have a corn Fanta jammed in my arm that I am holding, and I'm like trying to balance all of these things, and I'm like, all right, let's get into this.
I think I've got, focus groups have shown hot dogs are a little suggestive for my
fair
selfies,
sure.
So I've got a falafel, and I'm posing for Corvix to take a snap before I dig in proper. Because I gotta...
I'm just waiting. Like, I'm sitting there. I've got my paper plate, and I'm like... it feels rude to eat, like, until you're ready, but I am very hungry.
Yeah, and, like, Corvix flits over so I can see the pic. I'm like, yeah, no, that's good. Go ahead and post that.
Oh, thank God. Oh, thank goodness. Oh, my God.
You can eat without me. You have 3 times as much food as I do.
First off, they're small hot dogs, okay? That's first off. Second off, it's rude, and I am not a rude person.
I feel it's a little rude also for me to just hold you up taking a selfie.
That's okay, well then, a mutual acknowledgement of no wrongdoing done by either party. Now let's chow down.
All right. I'm going to take a big bite, so how'd your final go?
It went fine. It's improv class, so it's just a lot of yes and if you understand yes and it gets you through about half the class, and frankly, candidly, a lot of it's reading the professor, and that's kind of a thing that I do really well, so it went fine.
Well, that makes sense. It's gonna really up your quip game out in the field.
That's the end goal, because I feel like I get right to the quip, and then I stumble. I feel like I get, I feel that moment, and then I trip. That's what I want. This is the end goal for me. Because, if I could get that one perfect quip off, I'd feel, amazing.
Yeah, well, KJ is always saying on my videos that you almost had it, and she really believes in you, and you're going to get it next time.
All right. Well, thank you, KJ, and thank you. I'm happy. I mean, technically, I shouldn't have a fan because the whole deal is that, but I secretly also very much appreciate that.
I thought you might.
So what happens? What immediately gets our attention? Something immediately goes horribly wrong that forces us to stop what we're doing.
I think the island starts rumbling.
Okay, and that's then, appropriately enough. Sure, yeah.
We look over
adequately attention grabbing.
Yeah, and we look over, and a huge just rock bursts out of the ground and probably knocks over one of the less popular food trucks. So the crowd's not so massive they can't scatter in time.
Yeah, it's probably you know what it is. It's right next to the really good halal cart is a really fancy gyro truck that's doing fusion, and it just doesn't quite work, and it just doesn't taste as good as the really good solid cart that and so it just has that energy of you're trying too hard.
Yeah.
And it gets knocked over. Sauces go everywhere.
It's madness.
Chaos.
Mayhem. I feel like just atop of that is... let's see. They've got Earth powers.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go away from the standard Earth powers of being, like, bulky and stocky.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like they're kind of willowy.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I think they have, I think their aesthetic, like, the costume aesthetic that I'm seeing is similar, like, also kind of veering away from the standard rock powers, like, bulky armor and, like, tactical look. Mm-hmm. I'm picturing kind of, like, rock climbing gear, so very sleek, maybe, like, thick, chunky boots, almost like the Miles Morales sneakers on top of the Spider-Man suit, but they're specifically, like, rock climbing shoes.
Yeah. That sounds rad.
Yeah, I think they've got like a supervillain version of a rock climbers like ensemble.
Okay.
And then can they be hanging from like one of the rocks, like hanging like off of a small outcropping?
Oh, definitely. They're like hanging and perched against the rock as it strikes. And I think, according to this list of rock climbing terms, I want to go with arete.
Arete is good.
Which is the edge of a wall that is an acute angle.
Okay.
Because I think that's a neat little...
There's an editor's note pops up when we see them on screen.
Yeah.
I think I immediately look to you and I look to them and I look back to you and I'm like, okay, so we should probably like handle this, right? This is us.
I mean, I don't see why not.
All right. If you want to go do your big flashy superstar thing, I'm gonna go slip on a domino mask and try to get people out of the way.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. Crack my knuckles, dash off. Dash off. It zooms in, and I assume we pan over, and then we are both in our superhero gear, unless you want a full transformation sequence.
Jeff, my brand.
I know, that's why I threw it to you. I started to say that we were in our outfits and went, no, Alice needs a transformation sequence.
Right. All right, so, yeah, you dash off, and I think I give, like, a 3-2-1 gesture to Corvix to start rolling. And I'm like, hey, friends, I'm fired up and ready to go. And I think I wear, like, glasses in my civilian outfit that I take off. And then, like, crush in my hand, and they burst into flames. And then I do the punch my hand into my palm thing, and just flames ripple down my arms, stripping away the Phoenix Academy outfit, and forming, like, a sporty jacket kind of thing over a bit of a... It just flows down my body to form a magical girl outfit, which is puffy and floofy. But also, like, I do a high kick and get some practical boots, and you can see I have shorts underneath the skirt. I'm not being totally ridiculous here. And just a pair of fiery wings spreads from the back of my jacket, and I strike a pose, and like, villains beware, Princess Phoenix is on the scene.
And I think we
workshop that a bit.
I think we cut back and I'm already standing there, like, with the outfit, just off camera, like, kind of, this, again, the same kind of deal as with the foo, where I'm just kind of like, all right, just you're gonna give me the signal.
I'm gonna point at Arete and like, all right, let's get into action.
All right, that's the signal. Okay, cool. It's like, I didn't want to wander into the shot. We've talked about this. We've worked out timing cues.
Yeah. I'm telling you, Corvix algorithms are a lot better. They're going to avoid getting you in shot more.
I appreciate that. So No Name's outfit is, think like a cross between Jason Todd as the Red Hood and Miles Morales. So I've got like a hoodie. It's probably, I think it's it's all kind of grayscale. Mm-hmm. So it's like it's a white hoodie with a black, like, very, very hipster biker jacket on top of the very like white hoodie, so you get that black and white contrast. I think every man wears a very classic Domino mask because I'm picturing a very Will Eisner's The Spirit Green Hornet type of like suit and mask outfit for him. Mm-hmm. So I think No Name is wearing probably like, I'm gonna go with like a full like a wraparound visor. I think that's a very cool aesthetic. That's how I've hid my eyes, and that's kind of the outfit in a nutshell. Jeans with a stripe down the side, big chunky boots. Very, very kind of hipster hero-y. Could be anybody on a college campus.
Anyone at all.
Yeah. So, we dash into action. I start, I pull up my phone. Like, I pull out my phone, I kind of, like, duck low. I pull out my phone, and I start kind of tapping buttons to pull up the old man's surveillance equipment to get a good sight on, like, who is around and, like, who I can be immediately sort of shuffling out of harm's way as the fight is starting to get underway. Which I think might be an assess the situation.
That does sound like an assess the situation.
All right.
So,
you'd think dice. I'd have remembered to grab dice, but I'm just going to pull up a dice roller real quick.
Sounds good.
That's a 3. That's not great at all.
A 3 total?
No, wait. I've got 2 superior, so that is a 5.
So that's a 5. We only have 1 team in the pool, though, so I can't boost that up. All right. So, let's see. I think you pull up the surveillance, and you learn very quickly that there was one person who didn't get away from the way too fancy food truck in time, and Mr. Brick, the infamous math teacher, has been pinned and is in danger and will need rescuing.
Okay, all right. He's gonna talk. He's gonna talk, and okay, fine. And I start, like, dashing over there, trying to, like, dodge rocks. What are you doing as I'm sort of dashing my way towards Mr. Brick?
So I think I see you making the dash for Mr. Brick, so I'm gonna hop on top of a food cart and then leap on top of a food truck and just bounce my way up to maybe throw a little fireball to get Arete's attention away from you, so you can do your job while I face the foe.
So, that sounds like you're provoking someone.
Yeah, that does sound like I'm provoking someone.
Roll me plus superior.
Cool. Come on, dice, be nice. So that is 7 plus 2 is a 9.
All right. Let's see. I'm trying to decide. I don't think we want to. We could bump this to a 10, but I don't know if it's worth it at this moment.
Yeah, I don't think we need to. Because what I want is for them to focus on me for now.
And I think they're going to. I think they absolutely do no matter what. But I think that they are going to so choose. So they get to choose one. They can either stumble air or overreact. Mm-hmm. I think they're going to air. I think they're going to air because I think they're going to, like, go big and flashy without realizing that that's sort of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
So I think they throw, they do the big throwing of a boulder, and then they kind of, like, dance along the side of this rock thing as they sort of telepathically hurl boulders at you without realizing that you were kind of wanting that sort of big flashy showdown.
Yeah. And I kind of just charge through their barrage, leaping and spinning and almost dancing from boulder to boulder as they come in, basically giving me a ladder to get back to where they are height-wise. Because, wings aside, I can't really fly. It just helps a little. Mm-hmm. But I think I'm definitely putting on a display with my powers so I can use my star move, Time for the Show.
Do it.
Which lets me roll plus superior. Oh, die. Don't fall on the floor. Okay. Reroll you. Cool. So that is a 6 plus 2 is an 8. So on a 7 to 9, name one NPC present. And I'm going to say I spot Tidal down in the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Her civilian name's Leone. She's kind of like a wolf girl. She's got water powers, very like moon themed, which is why she took the hero name title. And the named NPC must either volunteer help or information, express admiration, or ask for my help, GM's choice.
I think she's going to offer help.
That sounds good. It sounds like we need help right now.
Yeah. And I think as all of this is happening, because I've encountered an important superpowered phenomenon, I'm going to roll plus superior because I've been reading up on Rick's files.
Yeah.
Which means I got a 7, so on a hit, I can tell one important detail I've learned from my studies. I cannot ask a follow-up question. So so I think as I'm dashing over, I tap my ear. I tap my ear to get a hold of Corvix. Yep. I tap my ear to get a hold of Corvix. I'm like, Corvix, hey, heads up. So they're throwing, I don't know if you've noticed, if you've gotten a chance to scan the composition, but this is concentrated topsoil. So, which is part of why they're able to move it quite so easily. So, it does not have a lot of structural integrity. So we may be able to use that to our advantage. We may be able to, make it go boom and scatter it into sand and dirt. Mm-hmm. It's tough. I mean, they're going to be crushing it real hard and turning it into rock, but we might be able to reduce it into sand if we're smart. I don't know how yet, but that's what we got.
Right. And let's see. The GM will tell you what, if anything, seems different from what you remember. And I think... Yeah, I think what you remember is... Already isn't a solo act. They're usually part of a team. They're usually part of a group called the Elementalists. It's like a trio of villains. So they might have help on the way or somewhere else on campus.
And so I think with that, like, I get to Mr. Brick, and as I do, I'm just kind of muttering to myself, like, okay, eyes on the back of my head, help is on the way, or harm is on the way, their help is on the... Hey, Mr. Brick, how are you?
Oh, no, not doing great, Charlie. I got this...
No name. I have a visor on.
Right, you kids and your aliases. Yeah, so, if you could help me maybe get a kind of a long stick and a rock, and we can use some good old physics, get the lever working, get this truck off my leg with some good old-fashioned know-how, and none of that fancy powers the rest of your classmates rely on.
Yeah, I think I can make that happen. I can definitely make that happen.
Okay.
I'm smart. I
are smart.
I ace my studies.
In fact,
so yeah, I think I'm going to do exactly that. I'm going to follow his instructions. I'm going to try and leverage, maybe climb up from an elevated surface and like push against it to sort of lean it backwards. And try and I think would this technically count as unleashing my powers? Since I am in fact a detective.
That could be unleash your powers. It could also be protect someone.
That's what I think it's going to be. I think that feels right. So I am going to roll plus Savior. Perfect. Great. Love that. That's a 3. That's an 8.
Awesome. So on an 8, you keep them safe, and you can choose to add a team to the pool, take influence over someone you protect, or clear a condition.
I'm going to add a team to the pool.
Cool. So our team pool is up to 2. And on a 7 to 9, you have to choose to expose yourself to danger or escalate the situation.
I am going to choose to expose myself to danger because I did just ultimately, through wits and cunning, but I did ultimately flip a car.
Yeah, you did.
And so I think no matter how much you want eyes on you to put on the show, like a car did just flip, and I am essentially standing there slightly crouching like, huh? Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh, indeed. Let's see. I think even though you're drawing some attention away, I'm pretty much in Arete's face, so they're not gonna turn to face you. But they do have friends, and let's go with Thermal. Thermal sound like a good wind manipulation person. Yeah. So Thermal's gonna drop down from the sky. What do you think Thermal looks like?
Thermal is wearing so Thermal, I'm thinking, is wearing like a very a rainbow themed outfit that are very like white, like long vertical color or long horizontal color stripes.
Okay.
Because I'm picturing I'm gonna grab a D6 here. Because I'm picturing Thermal specifically because I'm picturing thermal jets like hot air.
Mm-hmm.
So what I picture is like the air around them is like wavering and vibrating and like pulsating. Oh, so like those long color stripes just turn into sort of a tie-dye whirlwind effect.
Oh, that's very cool.
And they have long hair that is just twirling around as well.
Yeah.
I'm standing there just directly in front of them like, cool. This is... And I square up and I'm like, okay, all right, we can work with this.
Yeah, I just think they crack their knuckles and like, so you want to be your hero, huh?
Want to be? Well, no. Sure. And I'm gonna go low and try to do sort of a spinning heel kick roll through on under their legs and try to take their legs out from under them.
That sounds amazing.
Because they don't anticipate that I fight dirty.
No, they probably don't. And it also sounds like a directly engage.
That does sound like a directly engage. That's going to be a +0. That's a 7.
Right.
On a 7 and 9, pick 1. So we trade blows, and I'm going to resist their blows because, like I said, I don't think they anticipated that I'm going to fight dirty and go low real quick.
Yeah. I think you do catch them off guard real quick. So they kind of go down in a heap. Do you put them in a leg lock kind of thing or just...
I think once they're down, I cross their legs over and put them in sort of a Texas clover leaf type hold. And I'm like, yeah, look at me. I look so cool right now. I look very cool right now.
Yeah. So I think what they do is they're going to lash out with their arms and probably send a blast of air, but you pressure the leg so they arch back in pain while they're trying to launch the air. So it misses you and is probably going towards me because that's how comic books work.
Yep.
So I probably get hit mid-leap trying to get to Arete. Which I've now put myself in a bad position.
Yeah.
And I think
that's taking a powerful blow.
That does sound like a powerful blow. Thankfully, I don't have any conditions. No conditions yet. Yeah. So if my dice are nice to me... Okay, I rolled an 8.
All right.
Yeah, so on an 8, I gotta choose one. Either lash out verbally, give ground, or struggle past the pain. I think, my audience demands that I need major acts of heroism, and I can't let them see that I'm losing to these villains, so I'm gonna struggle past the pain. I'm gonna mark insecure, because I feel like I should be better than this by now. I should have been more aware of my surroundings. And think maybe afraid. I think I'm worried about what the two of them here means. Because I don't think I've had good experiences with the third member of their group.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So yeah, they blast me with wind. I get knocked back into one of these falling sod boulder things. And then just then I get the message from Corvix, your info that, oh, it's just compacted dirt, so we can probably blast through it. So I'm like, all right, blast through it, right?
As you're gearing up to blast, like I think I've got them in a leg lock. And I'm kind of I'm looking around to see if anybody else is around us, and I'm kind of just like shouting. I'm Captain Americaing it, and I'm shouting out directions to people around, like Mr. Brick, go over, like get over there, get to safety, make sure that all the kids are not around. Like this is very like we can handle this. I just need to make sure there's nobody around in case this gets messy.
I was like, good on you, No Name. Oh, you handle these rapscallions in there. Yeah, it's powers today. I can't stand it.
I puff up and I'm like, oh, thank you for remembering my name.
Yeah, he's not the absolute worst. He's just curmudgeonly. All right. So I think he's limping a little. So I think Tidal, who's supposed to be helping, runs over and helps escort Mr. Brick to the side for now, and shouts that she'll be back to help once she gets him in the clear. So, because I don't think it takes a provoke to tell people to run away from supervillains attacking.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
So do you want to blast through this dirt?
Yeah. I think I'm going to do the over-the-top kiss the fist. It's going to, like, flare up with flames and just go, Phoenix Fire Blast! And throw a punch and send a fireball right into an oncoming sod boulder.
It's very cool, is the thing.
It's very cool. The thing is, I'm very cool. And
I think Charlie mutters is just, that's very cool.
Would you say that I am like standing, what's the actual wording on this? Stand strong while dramatically under fire.
Oh, for sure.
Awesome. That lets me directly engage using Savior instead of Danger, because I have the beacon move, Suck It Domitian. I don't know how that's said. But let's try this. Alright, so that's a 5 on the dice, and 3 superior Savior makes it an 8. So, I want to take something from that. I want to, like, blast the rock Arete is holding on to so that they lose their footing and fall.
Okay.
Because I think, maybe foolishly, that once they're on the ground, it'll be easier to deal with them. Maybe that's not the best idea now that I'm thinking about it, but what's done is done.
Yeah, no, they fall to the ground and, like, sod kind of crumbles everywhere around them. And I think for a moment, like, there's a calm, and, you know, me with thermal and a leg lock, Arete on the ground, surrounded by dirt and sod. It, for a moment, feels like we're in a really strong position. It feels like we've really, really got this. So I'm gonna throw it to you and ask because I think we both know the answer, but what goes horribly wrong at this moment?
I mean, what goes horribly wrong is when you connect a person with earth powers with a large source of earth. Yeah. They just have more ammo.
That's fair.
Yeah. And I think what they do is you feel yourself being pulled down kind of like into quicksand.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Kind of force you to break your leg lock on their friend. So they can kind of reset the field, so to speak.
And I think I let go. I kind of scramble and, you know, kick and claw to try and avoid falling into the earth.
Yeah, you don't want that. Why don't you give me an unleash your powers to see how well you can get away from.
Yeah. That's a 5. That's a 4. That's not good at all.
Oh no. I think it's like you said, you kick and claw, and if any cartoon show has taught me anything, it's you don't kick and claw in quicksand. That just makes it worse.
Yep.
And I think I watch in horror as you get pulled under.
Yep.
Oh no.
I'm definitely going to just go ahead and mark afraid here.
Mark afraid? Yeah, that sounds appropriate. That sounds really appropriate.
I'm definitely afraid.
So
what are you doing as I'm getting pulled under the earth?
I think for a second my fist flares up again. I'm like, no, I can't do that. That's a bad idea right now. Blasting into the earth while you're in it is not going to be helpful. But what I can do is I'm going to launch myself at Arete and try to like tackle and pin them to the ground. Not the best instinct, probably. But
that's a direct engage if ever I've heard one.
That is directly engage. And I'm less dramatically under fire, so I think this is just with danger. Oh, but that's a 10 on the dice.
Beautiful.
-1 for danger.
I think we can spend a team to keep that at a 10.
Yeah? Awesome.
Yeah. This is an important moment.
Yeah. Alright. So I'm going to choose to resist or avoid their blows and take something from them. And I'm going to take you back from them.
Yay! Friendship!
Because I'm going to like pin them to the ground and hold like my hand up in a claw and just fire sparking off and like, bring him back now.
And they start to puff up for a minute and then they're like, okay, yeah, okay. Okay, yeah, that's right. Put me back. All right, I'm back.
And then once you're back, I'm gonna like push off of him and step back a bit, because I don't need my fans seeing me like that. That's not the space I want them to see.
That's fair. No, that's valid.
I gotta like compose myself again. And like,
so I think I tap my ear after I'm like safely on the ground. I'm like, hey, we should fall back and regroup. I think if we can get 2 seconds, if you can give us 2 seconds of downtime, we can regroup and I can talk through exactly how to take these two out. Can you give us 2 seconds?
I can get us 2 seconds.
Okay, give us 2 seconds and we're good.
All right.
And I'm gonna just run. I'm gonna just move specifically to like cover and to lay low. I throw up the hood so that I look as much like I just an ordinary person, and I'm like, half shoving people into a like running away crowd to just lay low for those few seconds that you can buy us.
All right. Yeah. And I think my wings give a flap, and I'm gonna flare my hands out and try to just rise up a dome of fire around the two villains to kind of cage them in for a couple seconds. Because logistically, it won't hold against like rocks and stuff, but it's going to be scary.
All right, do what you got. Do your thing.
It sounds like Unleash, probably.
This is an Unleash. This is Unleash, definitely.
Yeah. I don't have a special move for Unleash, right? Nope. That is a 6. Plus 1 is a 7.
All right.
Woohoo! All right. So I got a marked condition, or it's unstable or temporary.
I think this is unstable and temporary. I think that you've already because I think that's. I mean, it's probably playing the game a little easily to say that, but I think you've set it up with the knowledge that this was going to be unstable and temporary.
I just needed a fast thing to go anyways.
Right, exactly. So, yeah, so they're scattered for a brief moment. I kind of, like, I sort of wave a hand to you from around a corner. I'm like, get over here. All right.
Yeah. And I run over, and I think this is about when Tidal gets back to join our huddle, so we can get our plan going on.
Okay, so here's the deal. Hot air plus heat plus light dirt and sand is glass. All we need to do is get a blast of hot air towards Arete, heat that air up, we trap him in a big glass ball.
It sounds like a plan.
Okay, well then we move. Are we feeling up to it?
I think I pause and then glance over to where Corvix is still filming. Like, you know me, I'm up for anything.
All right. Well, then on my word, we move. I lean over to you. I've been wanting to say that for weeks. It felt really good, honestly.
Yeah, you did great.
Thank you. All right. Move out. And the three of us like dash off. And I think this is, would you consider this re-entering the battle as a team?
Yes.
Then we're going to add an extra team to the pool and carry +1 forward, as I do feel pretty confidently as the leader here.
Hell yeah.
All right. Hell yeah, Captain.
Team set 2. And then we have the enter battle as a team move, which adds another 2 to the pool.
All right.
Does the leader have influence over every teammate? I know you have influence over me. Do you think you'd have influence over Tidal?
I can roll for it. Yeah. I think there's a brief moment where, like, I think as I'm giving my heroic pep speech of like, listen, I think we've got this. We just, if we work as a team, if we pull this together, we can take these. I know we're outgunned here, but I think we can make this work. And I have the adult move Empathize, so I can roll my mundane.
That sounds good.
That's an A. Wait, that is an 8, which gets us. They must reveal. So I do not have influence over them, but they do reveal a vulnerability or mark a condition.
Okay. Yeah, I think Title's probably like. I mean, sounds like you two got it handled. Do you really need me here? And I don't want to throw your dynamic off.
Honestly, the more the better. I feel like, what I don't want is for molten sod to be dashing at innocent people. If you can keep everyone safe, not least of which me, but that's egotistical to say. I feel like if you can keep people safe around here, then you probably have the most important job of all. If I'm being honest.
Yeah, I think she like flexes her wrist and the reflecting pool behind us surges up a little, and she's like, yeah, I think I can keep that down. Okay.
So I do not have influence over everyone.
No, you don't. But I think we all have the same purpose in the fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that gets it up to 5. I don't see any reason we'd mistrust anyone.
No.
We're all good. And I think we're centered and we're prepared for this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going in with 5 team.
Hell yeah, that's a good amount of team.
That is.
Now, quick rules clarification question as someone much more familiar with masks than me. You can only use one team on a given roll?
Yes.
Okay.
One person can use one team per roll, except I also have the beacon move won't let you down, which lets me spend up to 2 team per roll.
Okay. But, like, you could spend 2 team, I could spend 1 team and bump it up to 3. Is that correctly understanding, or is that...
Right. But for you to help your roll, you have to spend team selfishly.
Got it. But I could help... Okay, yeah, I got you. Yep. Got it. Okay. So, yeah, we dash off. Do you want to... So, I think... Here's how I picture this happening. I think I've got to get out in front and basically serve as a distraction. It's what I do best.
Okay.
I need to catch their attention. I need to get them moving because I need them to be riled up for when they throw a big attack, for when you unleash your powers. So I think I think I might be provoking someone for you to either directly engage or unleash.
Yeah, that sounds like a provoke.
Okay. Oh, that's a 10. That's beautiful.
Oh, that's a 10. All right. So...
Oh, that's a 12.
Oh, that's a 12. So, yeah, on a 10 plus, they do it. They do exactly what you wanted them to do.
They are real riled up. Because I think I'm just like dashing between like air blast and flying rock, and I'm just basically like I'm just mouthing off, right? Like I'm just like, you would think if you had these powers, you would invest in at least a little target practice. You'd think. I mean, maybe it's just because I don't have them, but it seems a little bit irresponsible.
Yeah. And I think you're getting them a bit peeved at each other, too, because you're dashing between them, and you dodge a rock blast, and Thermal has to, like, duck out of the way of it. So maybe the next wind blast isn't aimed totally at you.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So they're kind of set up good and proper. So now I've got to glass them into a dome.
Yep.
So... I think that's got to be a directly engage.
Yeah, I think so.
I think that's a bit more than an unleash would let me do. So, let's hope this goes well. Actually, well, my Come On Lucky move, Corvix, does help me with directly engage moves. I think Corvix is also flitting around, flashing lights in their eyes and keeping them extra distracted.
I look up. I told you recently I like you, Corvix.
And it, like, chirps in approval. Like a cute little droid. Alright. Roll. Alright, that's only a 6.
I will spend a point a team to put that up to a 7.
Alright. So, that gets us to 7. I get to choose 1. I'm gonna take something from them. I'm gonna take their freedom.
Alright, yeah.
As they have been successfully encaged in this glass dome.
So then, that means you do take a blow.
I do take a blow.
And I think I know where that blow comes from.
Oh.
I think... Off mic, is this where we want to do the heel turn?
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Right.
It's either here or maybe their third member shows up.
I think this is the right moment, because I think this is like the end of the fight where we get blasted and then and then they get away.
Sounds rad.
So, yeah, I think exactly where it has to come from is, you know, Arete is trapped in a glass dome and is pounding on like, hey, let me out of here. Thermal like flies over and is like trying to like, you know, blast the glass, like sand blast the glass. Like they're clearly they're clearly taken with this. And for a moment we feel like heroes, and then water wall just crushes you.
Oh no.
All of that reflecting pool just like slams into you.
Oh geez.
And like sends you crashing to the earth.
Oh. Okay, that's got to be a powerful blow.
That's a powerful blow.
I don't think water is fun on a good day for me. Oh, thankfully that's just a 3 on the dice, so that's 5.
Okay.
So, yeah, it does knock me back and kind of douses me. So I'm soaked and sodding, but I kind of tumble through it and get back up to my feet. I'm like, what the hell?
And I think with that, we see Tidal like standing or float. I think we see them float, like standing there, just kind of like pointing at you, not saying anything, just pointing their hands at you.
And you're like, what? You gotta say some, like, I took sign language. You're not even doing sign language. You gotta work with me here.
And they walk over, and they push back Thermal a bit, and they pull all that water that they smashed you with, they pull it back up, and they just like, it starts to just twirl, and it basically forms like a water drill and just tears through the dome. And I think I am clamoring out from like, I think I ducked and covered the second that there was the crash. And I'm like, no. What do we? I don't know what to do here.
I know. I was just about to say something about people in glass houses and throwing stones.
That's See, that's why I took the improv
Right?
Not now. Not right now.
No.
We'll have this conversation later, but...
She stole my fire. And I'm like, flicking my wrist, and like, literally, it's going to take a bit for me to burn up.
So many good okay, and I can't... And, like, I slink down. I think I slink down as I'm like, I can't... They're gonna get away.
Hey, stay with me. Listen. They're not gonna get away. We're still here. It's still the two of us, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And come on, we've been in worse spots than this. We can get through this.
I'm gonna ask you to comfort.
And that... Before I roll that, I need to ask you, are you someone who openly admires my celebrity persona?
100%.
Awesome.
1000%.
Then I get to use Take It From Me and Comfort and Support with Superior instead of Mundane. Cool. So that's 6 on the dice, plus 2 for Superior, and 1, because I have influence over you, is a 9.
Okay. I can clear a condition. I'm gonna clear a condition. I'm gonna clear afraid.
Awesome.
I steal my face and I stand up. I actually put my hand on your shoulder and I say, we can take this fight to them, but now it's 2-on-3 and we need to just... It's going to be better if we just make sure that everyone is safe. We at least... Whatever they were planning, I don't think they're planning it now. I think they know... I think their window is closing. So as much as I want to get an answer or something, I think we need to play crowd control and let them go. I can't believe I'm saying this. I know what he would say. I hear him. You have anybody like that? You hear him and it drives you up a goddamn wall.
My dad?
I guess not literal, not my literal dad, but I guess dads are like that.
Yeah. Yeah, so they can be.
I'm going to actually also comfort you.
Aw.
And I'm going to, because I am giving you the advice that I think my mentor would give, which is it's okay to walk away from this fight because we have more important work to do. I am going to use my savior instead of my mundane.
Awesome.
Which I didn't need because I rolled a 10, but that puts me at a 13.
Hey, that's rad.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm going to clear Insecure. And at a 10 plus, you also get to choose something.
I'm going to mark Potential.
Oh, you get to choose add a team or clear a condition.
Oh, I'm going to add a team to... Well, I'll add a team to the pool. I don't have any conditions left.
All right. Team is back up to 5. Cool. So I'm like, yeah, we could let them go, or we could take them down.
And I look at you, and I sit for a second, and I look around, and I'm like, we just get like, there's a bunch of kind of the shaky frame panels of like fantasies of just destruction and people running, and then one of like a whole splash page of all, amidst all of this chaos, like fully empowered no name standing with the visor and the hood up, arms crossed, and it just says, there's just a word balloon that says, we can do it. We can do both. We can do it both ways. And I lean forward. I need you to hear one thing. Because I've got a job to do, and I need you to hear one thing. It's very important. Are you listening?
I'm listening.
You fucking got this.
Damn right I do.
I got work to do. And I throw up my hood, and I think I'm going to activate my moment of truth.
Hell yeah!
the moment that I show who I really am, my mentor or something different, I can do whatever my mentor could do and more. I can do the incredible, even the things they always failed to accomplish. I think what happens is like throughout, No Name basically like steps out of the scene, but there's just panel after panel of whatever the fight looks like from here, of like people being moved to safety, No Name checking on people, and just like, you know, zipping from like place to place to place to place to place, making sure that like everyone gets to safety. It's 1,000 good deeds all done at once just to make sure that like no one in this scenario gets hurt.
I love that. That's amazing.
Toasting a corn Fanta with Mr. Brick. It's everything. It's everything the everyman wanted No Name to be, and then some.
Cool.
So what are you doing? What's your big showdown moment?
I think I'm gonna stare at the three villains as they're pulling themselves together and kind of like work my shoulders a little and whistle for Corvix to come down. And like, hey Corvix, you still have that shock gauntlet I stole from... Oh, what was their face? It doesn't matter. Can I have that?
And a little chirp. It just sort of drops into your hand.
Awesome. I'm like, water beats fire, but if I know my Pokemon right, and I'm gonna strap the shock gauntlet on and flex a bit.
There's a panel of like one of those biblical stained glass halos, and it's just all Pokemon cards.
All right, this will give me the edge, at least until I get sparked up again. Well, let's hope my martial arts aren't too rusty. And I'm gonna charge right for title and see if I can take her out first.
That's going to be directly engaged, and I think with Arete and Thermal staring you down, I think you are under fire here.
Awesome. So that's going to be plus Savior. Roll. And I rolled a 12.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so even though I'm still afraid, that's still a 10 plus.
Beautiful.
So I'm gonna resist or avoid their blows. And I think I'm gonna impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition.
Oh, I think that's exactly what happens. And I think, like, let me throw this to you. Who scatters immediately? Who nopes? Who sees that and goes, nope, not for me?
I feel like Thermal is the flightiest one, so to speak. Mm-hmm. So they're probably the first to nope out.
Thermal, like, because of all the sand and dirt in the air, it's literally just like a whirlwind of dust. It just lifts up, and then they're gone. Arete watches this, starts to scramble, kind of like quickly whips up the largest ball of compressed sod that they can, and it's just like, okay, I got one shot. Yeah! And it's just flying right towards you.
Okay. Well, it's flying right towards me, and I'm kind of going toe-to-toe with Tidal, so I'm gonna, like, give them a pop in the shoulder, grab their wrist, twist them into an armbar, and put them in the path of the lump of sod. Because I know what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. This is an amateur hour.
Yeah, no, you're a professional.
Alright, so I rolled a 10. Am I still standing dramatically under fire?
I think so. Yeah.
Cool. So that makes it an 11. So, again, I'm resisting and avoiding their blows, and I think I'm going to take Tidal out.
Okay.
Just kind of chuck them into a giant rock, which isn't fun.
And I think, like, the rock explodes, dust goes everywhere, and I think Arete, with that, now that one of their, like, allies is out, scoops them up, and, like, is like, okay, really would have loved if Thermal was still here, and, like, scoops them up and, like, nopes out of there themselves. Like, I think that's the moment when they're like, okay, I think we're outmatched here.
Yeah.
Because you just effectively took out you took out Tidal, you took out Thermal by virtue of taking out Tidal. Arete is thoroughly outmatched, and you've shown that you can burn through their best offenses. That feels as thorough a defeat as can come.
That sounds good. And I think I take your advice and just let them leave. But as they're going away, like, the water in my clothes steams off and my flame wings flicker back. I'm like, y'all should have known the Phoenix always rises back.
That's very cool. And I almost put a hand on your shoulder, and then the wing flickers back, and I'm like, nope, okay, no, it's fine.
Oh no, you can touch them. It's not really that hot.
Oh yeah, that's not bad at all. Okay. You know, it's not the best victory, but it's a pretty damn good one.
Yeah. I think this might be my best video yet.
I think so too.
And I'm going to hold up my fist for a fist bump and then lower it because that's the one with the shock gauntlet on it and raise the other one.
I was so close to the fist bump, and they're like, oh, yeah, okay, no, that's solid.
No,
Thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah. You want to get a falafel?
Yeah, I think we got 15 minutes before next final.
Yeah, I think that's about how much time we got. But that's not the worst. That's enough. That's enough time for a snack.
Yeah.
All right. So do we want to do some end of session moves here? Some celebrations? I forget what they're called in Masks. I know there's like a end of
yeah, the team moves, so we could like celebrate and stuff.
Yeah, let's do it.
There's the end of session moves.
Let's celebrate, and then we'll do our end of session moves.
Cool. So, right there we go. So, for a star, when you share a triumphant celebration with someone, say whether it's part of the show or not, yeah, I'm gonna like whistle for Corvix to power down the stream now, because this isn't part of the show. This is just us relaxing and recharging after a mission well done. So you get to shift my labels, and I can clear a condition or mark potential.
I am going to shift... I'm going to shift your savior up by 1.
You actually can't.
I cannot.
Because I used my moment of truth off screen. My savior has been locked.
Well, then I'm upping your danger by 1 because I saw you do some wildness.
That is fair.
And I think I'm shifting your superior down by... No. I'm going to shift your mundane down by 1.
Mundane down by 1. All right, that's fair.
I'm watching you become the Phoenix, and I'm seeing really what that means.
Mm-hmm.
So on a moment of celebration, I think I ask you, was I a good leader today? Did I do a good job?
You did a phenomenal job. We wouldn't have made it through without you.
All right. Well, in that case, my mentor loses influence over me, and I mark potential.
Awesome.
I'm becoming my own man, and that feels really good.
You are.
All right. And with that, let's segue into our end of session moves.
Cool. Actually, there's one other thing we can do.
Oh, is there?
Because it is finals week. We could roll to see how well we do on finals.
I do want to roll how well we did on finals.
All right. So the Phoenix Academy playset has a big test move.
All right.
So what do you think your afternoon final is?
My afternoon final is criminology.
Criminology.
I took a really specific course set.
Yeah. Cool. So that sounds like a superior test.
Okay.
So if you give me a superior roll, we can see how well you do.
8 plus my superior, which is 2, which is a 10.
All right. On a 10 plus, you pass with flying colors. You get to mark a potential or shift the test label up and any other label down.
I'm going to shift my superior up to 3. I think I am fully owning the fact that I kick ass, and I'm going to shift my mundane down by 1.
Yeah, you do kick ass.
All right, so what final are you taking today?
I think... that's a good question.
I have a suggestion. Oh, go ahead.
Oh yeah, go ahead. I'd love
I was
to
gonna
hear
say, I was gonna say cinematography or something like overtly production based.
Oh, that sounds rad. Yeah. So I think that's probably like a group project thing that we're presenting, which means it's a mundane test.
Yep, I call that
for me. So, I got a mundane -1. Oh no, I rolled a 5, so I got a 4.
No.
Oh, on a miss, I blew it hard. So, I think our comic pulls out with the cinematography teacher just giving me a thorough rundown.
This looks like it was filmed on a cell phone. This looks like it was filmed. This looks like it was filmed. Was this filmed like this looks like the entire thing was filmed as a selfie. Is that what you were going for?
I mean, mostly, yeah. It's kind of. I mean, I know I have to upgrade Corvus's camera eventually, but money's been tight and everything, and I think there's also a lot of lecture about, like, you know, you can't be the full cast and crew and star and producer director. Like, you got to work with your people. Yeah,
this is a group. It's a group project. Emphasis underline the word group. Did you miss the word group?
I'm used to working on my own with all this, and
you're gonna have to learn to work with a team if you're gonna want to get anywhere in production.
Yeah. All right.
Which is a very good coda for the end of the session.
Sounds good.
All right.
Awesome.
So I think my end of session move.
Basic moves. It's on the second page of that sheet. End of session. You grow closer to the team, into your own image, or away from the team.
I am growing closer to the team.
Awesome.
Actually, I think I've grown into my image of myself.
That sounds appropriate.
I think I've grown into my image of myself. I think I am shifting. I am gonna shift mundane. No, I'm gonna shift. Saviors at 3, superiors at 2. No, superiors at 3, saviors at 3. I'm gonna shift danger up by 1 to a +1. Actually, mundane up by 1. I think I've learned that I think danger's actually shifting down to a -2 because I think I've realized I'm not going to succeed. I'm not going to succeed by being a cool fighty dude. I succeed by helping people that need it. Yeah,
and you did so much to help everyone today.
Yeah, and I did it by virtue of helping people, not by being the cool. Like, when I was the cool fighty dude, I almost got swallowed up by the earth. But when I was just there to support people, I saved a lot of lives.
Yeah, cool. I think I'm also going to grow into my own image of myself. And I think I'm going to shift my danger up and my freak down. Because I learned, like, even when my fire powers are canceled for a bit, I kick ass.
Hell yeah, you do.
And also take names. So,
hell yeah, you do.
Yeah.
And awesome. I think with that, that's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
It's wonderful. What a good God, I love this game.
I love this game so much. That was so much fun.
That was super fun. Thank you so much for playing with me. This was a blast.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Of course. So real quick, before we wrap up, where can people find you and your work online?
Sure. So you can find me on Twitter at magicalgirlkyra, or if you go to magical-girl-kyra.itch.io, you can buy any games that I make and have for sale there. And most importantly, you can follow Unlabeled AP on Twitter and subscribe to it on whatever podcast application you are using right now to listen to this.
And perfect. Yes, please go do that because I mean, if this session was any indication, I can't really, like, it's a blast.
It's a lot of fun. I'm so proud of the story that me and my friends are telling.
That to me is what is the best. Is like the sound in your voice when you said that is what it's all about for me.
Thank you.
So, thank you so much for playing with me. This was the most fun. And for now, I'm going to throw it over to me in the future so that he can wrap up with the show. Take it, future me. Thanks, past me, and thanks again to Alice for coming onto the show. That game was an absolute blast. Be sure to check the show notes for more information about Unlabeled and Masks itself, and be sure to follow Alice on Twitter at MagicalGirlKyra. Then while you're on Twitter, follow us at Party of One Pod, then slide on over to Facebook and like the show at facebook.com/partyofonepodcasts. If you enjoy the show, great ways to support us are by leaving us a nice iTunes review, Podchaser review, Podbean review, Stitcher review. Wherever you listen to podcasts, there's probably some kind of review function, and those reviews help new listeners find the show, which helps us do bigger, better, and cooler things. You can also financially support the show at patreon.com/JeffStormer, coffee.com/JeffStormer, and paypal.me/JeffStaystormer, because Jeff Stormer was taken. You can also support the other podcast I produce, All My Fantasy Children, which is a podcast on the One Shot Podcast Network about character creation, storytelling, and world building. Every week on the show, my best friend Aaron Catano-Saez and I, we take a listener-submitted prompt, we spin it into an original fantasy character, and we populate a shared universe one story at a time. New episodes drop Friday-ish at oneshotpodcast.com. Party of One is produced and edited, as always, by Jeff Stormer and Jen Frank. All music for the show comes from the song Infinite Lives by Megaran, featuring the D&D Sluggers. The Party of One logo is by Evan Rowland. If you'd like to inquire about advertising rates coming onto the show or press coverage for the show, you can email me at partyofonepodcast@gmail.com. And that's it. Until next time, thank you so much for listening. Remember to fight the forces of fascism every single day. Remember that self-love and self-care are radical and defiant acts of resistance. And as always, party on, everybody.